Alright, g'day, hi and welcome. Alright, let's see what I accomplished for today. So there's a lot of moisture in this place. We'll have a... Yeah, you can hear it, so I'll put the windows back up. So I've got about 45 minutes or so. Not quite. Okay, yeah, so I've got maybe about a half an hour or so. So here's what I'm going to do. So that's all the stuff that was in the closet. It's all clothes. And it's not as bad as, not as rank as I thought it was going to be, but I did get rid of that little shelf there. There's no light here. Light there, but I won't show in the closet anyway. Look at all the dirt in here. Oh my God. I'll show you better the next time, but I got everything out of here anyway, so my knowledge, I got everything up there. Got to sweep all this out. I'm going to keep the coat hangers. So in here, there's going to be like tools, stuff like that. See how the floor seems pretty solid. I know you can't really see nothing, but yeah, so I'm going to have like toolboxes and stuff in here. Coats, boots, probably a little bit of tools up here, a little bit of, critical tools that can't stay out on the porch. Like anything electrical, like testers and stuff like that. Where's this thing plugged in? That's what I want to know. Yeah, so I got to move all this in. This one doesn't have wheels on it. I'm not sure how they got it wired up. So, but I'm gonna rip out all this floor too. See what my brother did. Okay, there was carpet in here. Okay, he didn't move anything out. He just cut the main center part of the floor out, and he just left little chunks like that rather than move everything out. I mean, he had to do everything himself, right? So, so he just did it. But like all the stuff was staying here, so he just cut around it. So like that linoleum is I'm not going to leave a little chunk like that. I'm going to just tear it all out. Plus, it'll air out the house a bit more, and you'll see what's underneath. Again, I want bare floors for now. We'll see. I guess I can open the front door, so I'll show you all the stuff I got out. So I'm dividing my day into a few categories here. So category 1 is clean up the house. Category 2 is go do, let's see what that is. Go do the church thing for an hour or two, and then see if I can get my brush minion over there, Minotaur over there, and go and finish the that property is just right there. Probably take me about 2 hours. But you see how the weather is, eh? So it's like, my cousin. Oh, that sounds like a tree that just came down. I guess maybe he's like, you hearing me run my tools. He's like, I gotta go cut something. So I'm gonna see if Amanda wants this, and this little thing here. I just never gonna use anything like this. Just a little one of these little guys, I did want to get the clothes out of here, but I don't want to just put his clothes out on the deck if there's skunks and stuff. There's a process, but I do want this out of here as soon as possible. But I wanted that clear because all that was just sitting there, and you can smell it a bit, so that'll air out a bit. But the other thing I did, I started the operation. Oh, great. Operation, everything's blowing around the house now. Great. Found the vacuum cleaner. I don't know if it works or not. I'll have to test that. Clean all that stuff. There's going to be tons of cleaning. But, the thing is all the big items are coming out. This is working. So I might just use this one. It's an older one, but there's one up at the house up there. But I'd like to leave it up there. I thought if it was really bad, I'd use the 2 of them. But one's probably going to be enough. Running an hour a day until I'm down here a little bit more. And then that should make a big difference. So I think now the last thing I got to do before I go get cleaned up and go to the church, I got to be there for 2. So I got an hour. So I got to play the 7 string for at least 10 minutes anyway. Just to say I did. That was my top goal for today, was to hook up the Mesa Boogie and crank some friggin', yeah. So I'll clean this next, get this back into here. I may have to move my guitars. maybe over to here or something, so that the daylight, I don't want the heat directly on the guitars because that will screw them up. Yeah, things to learn, right? So, but in here, like, I mean, I'm starting to get, some of my clothes in and stuff like that. Nothing's touching the wall just because, not till I wash everything down. But it doesn't smell bad in here. I still got to fix the bed. That's dry. That's dry. I just got to figure out where it's leaking in from. And I'm pretty sure that's coming mostly from the bathtub, but it might be coming from that vent, the bathtub vent too, in the ceiling. But no, that'd be on that wall. But it could be coming down there and then going across, coming down that way and then going across that way. I'll have to get to that. So there's a bunch of things I have to seal up outside for the winter, just to stay ahead of it. Because there is like clearly some water damage and stuff like that, but some of it is just from the stuff been sitting in its own filth kind of thing, right? It's unbelievable the amount of dirt in here. Like, they got to go through, because there is some good clothes in here, so they got to go through it. I'll make it as easy for them as possible, but I can't wait for, like, I'm not going to leave this stuff in here forever. It's like, it's got to get out of here. So I'm not bringing my stuff in until their stuff is out, because if not, it's just going to infect my stuff. You know what I mean? So, not to be mean or anything, but, it's the way it's got to be done. I'll leave that open for as long as I can get away with. Maybe next week I can get the ladder up there and check out the state of everything up there. But yeah, so that's what I got done for today. I'm pretty happy with that. Got all those big items out. Room already smells a little bit better. Like, every time you take something out of here, it smells better. Obviously dumping that on the floor doesn't smell good, but yeah. And of course I still got to do all the dishes, and that'll, that's stinking up the place too. But I did go through it enough that, like, I dumped like all the, like, there was, cups with water in it, and it just, how you leave it too long in the sink and it's starting to get a mold on top of it. Can't get to the fridge today. Can't get to that cupboard. I'll probably see if Amanda wants that cupboard too for her shop, like, after I get everything cleared out. I completely filled the recycling bin, so maybe about 2 more goes with the recycling bin and all the recycling stuff will be caught up, and maybe about 3 more goes with the garbage bags. Everything will be caught up, but as soon as this is out, like I say, the dehumidifier, I'm going to run it as much as I can. Like, I'm going to see if I can run it at least an hour a day. I'd like to fill up one of those a day for, till it takes like a day to fill it up. Then you're doing okay. But yeah, that'll fill up probably in about 2 hours, 3 hours. So the good news is it works. But it's coming along, guys. Slow but sure is what it is. Anyway, I got to get other things done. So yeah, I don't know if that still works. If it does, give it a clean up. But I got all that out of the closet, so I'm happy about that. And then I'm going to tell them, go through it down here, because I don't want them dragging it up home and then it just sits there and sits there and sits there in the garage or whatever. Like, I don't want to just divert the problem to there, because I live up there too, and I don't want to burden my dad. So what I told them is, sort it out down here. I'll just dump it on the floor. I don't care. Whatever you dump on the floor and leave, I'll deal with anyway. Next weekend, I think, is the large waste. Whatever can go out for large waste. It's just the problem is, like, like, they procrastinate a lot, right? So it is overwhelming, and I get that. Like, I can appreciate that it's overwhelming, but it has to be done. It has to be dealt with. Like, this was the stage that I didn't know how long my brother was going to take, right, to move up home. So, which up home is just 200 feet that way. So I'm living in 2 places, but this is mainly going to be a studio at first, but I can't do anything with it until all this junk is gone, right? So, I can, I swept down the walls up to there, but I got to get all this stuff out of the corner. Got to get this aquarium out of here. I'll just ask them, hey, do you want me to just dump it on the yard? I just want to get it out of here. It's like, it's not like you're gonna have the fish up there. My dad's not gonna allow that anyway. He's like, yeah, no way. Like that's, if you're not gonna take care of it, just delete it out of your life, and then, like people get ahead of themselves. Like. Me with projects, right? Like there's a lot of projects that I just can't get done mechanically, right? Because I don't have the place to work on and stuff. And you watch what happens to the motorbike now once I get the front porch cleaned up. What I mean? That thing, I might have it running in a month. Probably not, but I've got lots to do. But the thing is you do a little bit each day. Like I've done quite a few hours. I've been down here since quarter after 10. So I've been down here a couple of hours. You get a lot done if you just do 2 or 3 hours of work for yourself, even once or twice a week. If you can do it twice a week, like 5 hours a week for yourself, it doesn't matter how big. You could live in a mansion and you'll eventually have that thing spotless. You'll have it every project, but you have to deal with some. Like just pick something and go. Like don't overthink it. What am I going to do? Like you can have like an actual plan. But people get like these really rigid plans to do stuff like, I'm going to do this today, this day. Okay, maybe only, like I got most of what I wanted to do. At least I wanted to get the closet empty and those, the shelves out, right? But I got a little bit more than that done, Maybe I didn't get all of this done, but I got a little bit more. So, it's a process. So, like, again, the reason why I'm showing you all the trash and everything is so that you can see, like, for example, I still got to sweep that out and all that. Got to wash this. Once this is washed, I mean, it'll be good for the rest of its life kind of thing, because I'm never going to let it get to this again. Maybe I wash it once a year or whatever. Once the walls are washed, maybe do that once a year and just stay on top of the sweeping on it and all that. Same with this cupboard, like, like once I do the mouse aside, found another fire extinguisher. So I've got 2 fire extinguishers in place too. But once I do that mouse aside there, I'm not going to have that problem as much to keep up with the cupboards and all that. So like, I mean, like this is years worth of stuff that they've neglected, right? So that's where your problem is. But now you can kind of see where I can put the piano anyway. So that's cool. That's going to be really cool. That's going to be really, really, really cool. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to get a few other things done. Then I got to take my shower and I got to get going. Because 2 o'clock is going to be here in 50 minutes. Yeah, and I got to be down at the church. All right, there we go.